Bill.wolf, and welcome to my podcast. Today I'm with Ryan Duffy. Ryan is the regional manager for the nVent RAYCHEM product line, and I'm very excited to introduce Ryan Duffy to the podcast. And I'm really excited about the RAYCHEM, nVent RAYCHEM product line that we just partnered with about 6 months ago. So Ryan Duffy, welcome to my podcast.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
Hey, you've ridden through some changes with RAYCHEM, now nVent RAYCHEM. You've been with them for 18 years, Ryan, and you're now the regional manager. Just give us a real quick bio on yourself. Like what's been your path to this current position with nVent RAYCHEM?
Sure. It's because, like you mentioned, about 18 years ago, I started with the company. I started as an inside salesperson. I did that for about a year to a year and a half before I ventured into proposals and estimating for the of our business or services side of our business. And then from there, I went into outside sales, covering for a majority of the time. And outside, I was in northern New Jersey and parts of New York is the region that I covered. But through the 18 years in outside sales, I covered Delaware, parts of Pennsylvania, different parts of New Jersey, and a little bit of Maryland. And that's then I graduated to the sales manager for the Northeast office prior to the transition to ECI, and now we're here.
Man, that's a lot of miles in the car every year, brother.
When I was in direct outside sales, I think I averaged around 30 to 40,000 miles a year. Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, when I first came to eControls, we had bigger territories and less people, and I was pumping out 35 a year for a while, man. It's a lot of hoofing. I understand.
Yes, gets old.
Hey, so about 6 months ago, and probably prior to that, because you were interviewing candidates, you made a move to go to a rep distributor model in the Delaware, tri-state area. Mm-hmm. Why eControls? Why did you choose eControls? What excites you about eControls in this relationship?
Well, the eControls, I mean, besides being an all-around great fit, eControls has a great team from the owner Cliff all the way down, and just their skill set, their mentality towards selling, and their passion for customer engagement. They seem to be very very involved in including the customer, not just from treating them as a customer only, but really as a partner, and all the way to cultivating relationships, friendly relationships with everyone. So that right there, along with their proven reputation and their established place in the market in the Northeast here, so it's just a great fit. On top of that, they were willing when we were the Northeast office selling direct, and then we transitioned to the rep distribution network. ECI absorbed almost everyone from our office. So at a time where there's an office closing and it's potentially a lot of doom and gloom, people losing their jobs, things like that, ECI transferred a tremendous amount of employment, almost the entire team, as much as they could, over really keeping everyone employed during the pandemic, which is amazing, and also taking all that knowledge that sat in the Northeast office and not just dispersing it and sending it out into the market for someone to find something new. They took it all and brought it over and have been running with it great. So it's been a really smooth, as smooth as a transition can be during the pandemic. Really smooth transition, and so far a very successful one.
Yeah, I know that we established a new thermal product division. We brought one of your outside salespeople, I think in Maryland, to our team, and then we moved two of our people to the team as well. And I think one handles the South Jersey, PA area, and another person handles the northern Pennsylvania, other areas like I think northern Jersey and northern PA area. But there's like a south, a central, and a northern person now covering the territory under this thermal product division, and then we invested about $1 million of inventory, and we brought on people from your organization who are application engineering and inside sales. So when we get a call, we can, like you said, there's a seamless transfer of knowledge right now because you have all that basic knowledge in the background still from your direct team.
Correct. Yeah, the quickly after the transition, ECI assembled a team and a created a division, their thermal management division, to focus strictly on electrical heat tracing sales for their particular region, and they are doing a great job with it. I mean, it's hitting the ground running. There's a lot of activity being dug up, and also there's some one of the big advantages of us being direct and being direct for so long, and now transferring to ECI, is that ECI has been selling other product lines completely separate from heat tracing, but there's a lot of overlap. So the relationships that ECI has, whether it's the company itself or their particular outside salesperson, is really helping us open doors and meet new people that are new customers, potential contacts that help us with any project that has electrical heat tracing in it.
Yeah, that's I think Ryan, I think that's one of the advantages of when the rep network is the ability to take a lot of your customer base and say, you know what, we're working on something. Oh, by the way, have you considered heat tracing on this project? Oh, yes. Oh, well, we have this. Or in my case, I don't work in this division, but we work as partners. So if I'm working in a plant on something, I say, hey, by the way, what do you guys do for heat trace here? And they say, oh, we're doing this, this, or this. I pass that knowledge over to my counterpart, and they take that lead and run with it. The same thing on the other side. If they're involved in a heat tracing project and there's something in other division, they'll pass that over to me and say, hey, Bill, you know what? There's a flow meter application over here you should take a look at with this account. They're interested in talking to you. So that it really is a nice. There's a lot of synchronization to it, or for lack of better words. So. Just when I was mentioning the parties and the players, what's the coverage that we have for you totally? I'm pretty sure I know it, but just confirm. Is it Lower New York through where does it go? It just kind of, what's that geography?
Yeah, it's the New York, basically the 5 boroughs and a couple surrounding counties,
Okay.
the entire state of New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, somewhat split right down the middle. You have all of Maryland, Delaware, and a few counties in Northern Virginia is the region for electrical heat tracing via ECI. So it's a good chunk of ground, and there's a lot of opportunities in there, a lot of industrial accounts, especially in the Northern New Jersey, New York region. You have to covering the Philadelphia region, the DC area. So there's some pretty condensed regions within that small footprint.
Yeah, there sure are. And in my career in eControls since 1997, and even prior to that, I've been in the business since late 70s. I've been in and out of a lot of those pockets of areas through my career. So just like you. So yeah, there's a lot to cover, a lot of challenges. So hey folks, before we wrap this up, I wanted to just again introduce Ryan Duffy. Introduce the nVent RAYCHEM product line, the partnership with eControls, how excited we are. By all means, give us a call if you have a heat tracing challenge or an application. But before we leave you, sometimes I get folks on the podcast and they say, you know what, I'm willing to share a little bit of my personal self and put myself out there. And I said, hey Ryan, you do something really cool, man. And I just going to go out of there. You're involved in martial arts, and I said, I heard you were involved in some kickboxing too, but you were talking prior. Can you I have a lot of respect for people in martial arts. And like I said, my oldest son got involved in martial arts, and it was a game changer for him. Tell us a little bit about that hobby. That's a pretty interesting hobby, man. Come on, let's go there for a quick minute.
Sure. I'll speak briefly about that. I'm into when it comes to martial. I have lots of hobbies, but two of my main ones one of my main ones are martial arts. But there's two different arts within the discipline. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu I've been engaged with for probably 10 years or so, and then about 5 years I've been doing Muay Thai, which is Thai boxing, or it's like kickboxing, but the style that they use in Thailand. I've always had a kind of a passion for combat sports, and about 10 years ago, I decided to take the plunge and get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and like you mentioned, it's been life changing. It continually humbles you and teaches you how to focus, teaches you how to overcome obstacles, and at the end of it, it gives you a lot of confidence that transfers to pretty much every aspect of life, including sales and your professional career. I mean, yeah, having confidence and a little bit of assertiveness is always has been a positive for me. So it's been helpful in that regards. And top of that, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of the gym is my second family, for a lack of a better term. And you meet a lot of like-minded people and get a lot of stress release. All the typical benefits that you hear from either exercise or martial arts. They're all true. You get them all, and it's been a very positive aspect of my life, and something that I don't ever see stopping. At least as long as I can physically keep doing it, I'm gonna stay at it.
That's you mentioned helping you with focus and overcoming obstacles. That's actually a couple of things that my son talks about too. So again, a lot of respect for people in martial arts, and thanks very much for sharing that with the podcast.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, man. It's yeah, definitely. So hey, folks, you have a requirement for some heat tracing, some challenges? Give us a call at eControls, and be on the lookout for a future episode where Ryan and I talk about some fundamentals of heat tracing. I think, Ryan, we're also going to talk about some challenges and best practices.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we didn't want to jumble that all up into this first episode. We just wanted to introduce the team, so to speak, and the relationship. And Ryan, we'll get you on a future podcast. And folks, thanks very much for listening, and we'll catch you in the future. And give us a call at eControls. Thanks so much for listening.
Thanks, Bill. Take care.